Welcome back for lesson number 9. Today we're going to be dealing with methods. To start off, let's save our file. Save as, we're going to call it some method.java. We're going to make our class declarations, so we have public class some method curly brace. Okay. And we're going to indent, and we're going to make our public method. So public static void main parenthesis string square brace args curly brace. We're actually going to make use of the scanner, so let's come back up here and import it. So we have import java.util.scanner. Okay, let's come back down here and indent. I'm going to make a scanner object equals new scanner, and again system.in semicolon. Then we want to get two values, so we're going to say system.out.println enter value 1. And we're going to store that in the value, so int val1 equals scanner.next int. And we're going to do the same thing to get a second value, system.out.println enter value 2. Int val2 equals scanner dot next int. Okay. Now, for right now, we're going to indent and end our main. Now we're going to make our method called sum. And to do that, what we do is indent again, and we're going to make it public, which means that it can be accessed from other classes, and we want it to return an integer value. So we're going to say public int, and our method's name is sum. It takes in two different parameters, both of them are integer. So when you're making a method, you first write the type of the variable, of the parameter. So sum int, I'm going to call it value 1, and int value 2. Again, close the parenthesis and curly brace. And we're going to indent again. Okay, then we're going to make a variable called summed value. So int summed value equals value 1 plus value 2 semicolon. Then to get that value, we need to write a return statement. So we write return, and then the name of the variable that we want to return, summed value, semicolon. And we end it with a curly brace. Now we can go back up to our main method and indent, and we're going to print out this value. So first we need to do a system.out.println the sum is And now we want to make use of this method right here. There are two different ways that we can do this. One way that we can do it is we can make a variable here called int, and we can call it sum val equals, and the way that you call a method if you're in the same class is you just write the name of the method, which in this case is sum, and then we send in the parameters. In this case it's val1 and val2. Notice that here we don't need to include the type of the variable since we already know what type it is from here. So we can either make use of it by doing this and then saying sum val, or what we can do is we can do a system.out.println the sum is, and we can actually call the method from inside this print statement. Notice that it's the same thing that we did here. It's just this step added an extra variable. So if you want to use the value that you get from the method multiple times, it is suggested to make a new variable. However, if you just want to use it once, you can either create a new variable as we did in the first part, or you can just call it from inside the print statement. And now let's make sure that we close off our curly brace, and I think that should be good. So let's come over here and save our file. Then let's come to our command prompt window and let's run it. So again, before we can run our Java file, we must compile it. So Java C, and this one was called sum method dot Java. Okay, so running into here is that to call a method from the main, we have to make it static. So similarly, how we have this public static, we need to have public static int. Save it again, and let's run it again. Okay, now let's run it. Enter value 1, 3. Enter value 2, 5. So in both cases we had that the sum is 8. There you go. That's how you create a method.